4 contestants enter, but only 1 leaves a champion. That's right, it's time for the one and only Project Nerd Game Show. Live from the Project Nerd Studios in StreamYard, it's The Last Word.
Hello, everybody, and I am your host, Andy Adair, and I am so excited to have you here with us tonight. We have a great show for you. Slower news week, but we still have some awesome stuff to talk about. I'd like to bring in our guest for today. First, Travis, welcome to the show. Tell us about yourself and say hello.
Hey, everyone. My name is Travis Ayers. I'm a film producer with Sistero Pictures, and I'm currently in Nashville, Tennessee.
All right. Thank you, Travis, for being here today. Up next is our great friend, Haley. Thank you for being here, Haley.
Hi, I'm Haley. I have a podcast on Project Nerd called The Horror Knot, and I talk about scary movies, gory movies, anything you can possibly think of that has to do with horror.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's great. Up next, we got our main man, Bill. Bill, great to see you.
Hey, how's it going? So, yeah, I'm Bill. I'm a TV and film critic, and I'm based out of San Francisco.
Okay, and last but not least, one of our familiar faces, someone that's one of our favorites as well, too, Shaun. Shaun, great to see you today. How are things?
Hey, everybody. Oh, they're doing really good, man. I can't complain at all. My name is Shaun, obviously, and I own High on Plastic Toys, co-own, and we produce awesome vinyl toys like this guy.
All right, well, great to have you here today. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the show. All right, so first question for today, and we just arbitrarily score these, so good luck with figuring out how I do that. Of course, we're going to start with a rumor this week, but it's one that I've personally been waiting for quite a while. So our first Avatar 2 trailer should be actually hitting with Doctor Strange in May. And I told myself I would not believe it until I saw it, but apparently it's really happening this time. So are you excited finally for Avatar 2? And do you think that it can repeat its first-time success at the box office? Let's go with Haley first.
Might get some backlash for this, but I don't really care about the Avatar series. But as far as it failing or succeeding, Disney has already set it up to succeed via Disney World and Disneyland. So if it does fail, that's their fault.
It's almost like Disney was willing to say oh yeah, that's a Fox thing. Let's compete against our other, it's like they're creating an internal competition almost. So,
right.
Yeah, Disney is setting itself up for success, I think, too. Bill, what are your thoughts on Avatar 2?
Dances with Smurfs. It's been here for decades now with us, with Avatar. And, when they were doing the production, they're making Avatar 2 and 3 at the same time. So Disney, it was probably to your point about it being Fox, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And it's finally coming out, but is it going to reproduce the original lightning in a bottle that happened at the time? Even if you released it now, it wouldn't necessarily hit the same way because you have streaming. People are going to watch it 10 times over like it was before. So it's going to have it'll probably still be successful. Yeah, definitely. Especially at least the first one or number 2. But as far as number 3 or beyond, there's always Disney Plus.
Always Disney Plus. Let's see. Travis, what do you think about the Avatar 2 coming up here?
Yeah, so I've been a fan of Cameron since he somewhat directed Piranha 2. I think with Avatar, I'm not the biggest fan, but from a technical perspective, as far as filmmaking goes, I know James Cameron always brings something new to the table. Yeah, and absolutely. I can even go ahead and I'm predicting at least 400 million the first weekend, because I know the last one there wasn't a whole lot of promotion. And I think this one's going to have a shit ton of promotion. So, yeah,
I totally agree. And now I have 2 questions for you, Travis. I want to follow up with DC actually moved its Shazam release date up to match Avatar 2. Do you think that's going to hurt it at all?
Not at all.
Okay, cool. And then, do you think that there's anything that they can do technically that can match what happened for Avatar 1? I think a lot of that box office was coming from the 3D potentially, right?
Yeah, and I think, right now, I don't see a lot of people going to see a 3D movie. So I think, I think the things that failed in the first one, as far as, no promotion and the 3D aspect, I think the second one is going to be bigger and better. And I also think there's going to be a broader audience, because I feel like there's, teens or early 20s, whatever, who maybe enjoyed the first one. And now they're going to go see the second one. So, yeah, I think it's going to have a bigger appeal than the first one.
Shaun, do you think the hate has gone too far a little bit on Avatar?
It's a weird movie because with the first one, no one really cared about it either, and then it hit, and it was kind of like this word of mouth phenomenon, and the 3D was like really the big thing for me in particular. I smoked a doobie and saw that thing, was like, whoa, man, this is like colors and like that particular aspect of that film was incredible. But James Cameron, for me, he just can't do any wrong, man. Aliens is my all-time favorite film, period. I absolutely adore that movie. He makes entertaining movies with well-developed characters, and I think it's going to do well. And it's going to be one of those things, again, where nobody's really going to care about it, and then it's going to come out, and it's going to make all this money and prove that James Cameron just knows how to make good movies. And he's had so much development time here. Think if he had like a decade to work on Aliens or Terminator 2 or something.
Or Titanic, right?
Yeah, right? I mean, he could have really done some amazing things with development time, and that's all he's had on this thing is development time. And he does really, really crazy filmmaking. Giant underwater tanks filled with water, and we're going to have all these monsters and creatures, and I'm stoked about it, man. I'll go sit in a theater and watch it, and I think that's probably the only way to watch that movie is in a theater, because like with the original Avatar, I don't know if I've ever seen that again after the theater, but I sure enjoyed watching it in the theater.
Haley, what would make you go see this new Avatar 2 movie? I know you're not a fan of the franchise, but if someone told you, oh, the 3D just is going to blow you away, or there's this technical like, is that enough for you to go see a movie?
Well, like Travis said, like visually, that movie is incomparable to anything else. I would go see it just to see what they can do with something that years ago it already looked amazing. So,
yeah. Very true. Bill, come back in here. What do you think? You think you're gonna go watch it?
Oh no, they're gonna make me go watch it whether I want to or not. And I'm kind of
do you
stuck
want
with
to
that.
go? Do you want to go watch?
Do you want to watch it?
Again, I'll say I like the product that Cameron typically puts out. He's done a lot of really good things. Now, granted, he abuses the crap out of his cast and crew. There's a reason that all his contract. Right, but at least all of Cameron's contracts have a non-disparagement clause in all of their press junkets. So those things get exciting. But I don't know. You're mentioning $400 million on the opening. I don't know, because again, these days with the way that movies are going for long, I could see him showing up with a 3-hour film, and doing $400 million on a 3-hour drop is going to be a little bit hard these days. But we'll see where it comes from. But I'll totally be there. It'll be fun to see once. But remember, when Pandora opened at Disney World down in Florida, it's not like it set new records for everyone beating down the door to go re-encounter the Na'vi once again.
They better beg back intermissions if they're going to do these 3-hour movies, man. I need a break to go potty in the middle. Seriously,
yes,
the big Batman. I was sitting there like, oh my god.
Younger me was making fun of people for wanting that, and older me's like, please give me a break.
Seriously, man.
Travis, why don't you close this one out for us? Do you think you're going to go see it this winter?
I think I'm going to go see it. One thing that just popped into my head is I recently watched an interview with special effects artist Steve Johnson, who did some of the effects for The Abyss. And he talked about, how there are literally things that were physically impossible to do special effects wise. And James Cameron somehow made him do that. And and that was years ago. And I can see him just upping the ante even more with Avatar 2. So, probably going to see it. And I think it might crush some box office records.
He's going to raise the bar. He's going to go down to the Marianas Trench in a submersible and raise the bar.
All right. So through our first question here, Travis with 5, Shaun with 5, Bill with 4, Haley with 3. Let us move on to our second question. Fortnite removes building. Now, why are we talking about Fortnite? What a weird second subject for us. But damn it, we're going to talk about this because Fortnite removing building is actually a really big deal in the gaming world, right? So Fortnite, which has built itself around this aspect of building and a battle royale, they have completely removed building. And I didn't think it was possible for a game to re-energize itself, but the player base has seen a resurgence with the new release. They've added sprinting, mantling. It's honestly kind of more mirroring a third-person Call of Duty right now than it is even more like Fortnite that we're used to. So do you think, if you know anything about Fortnite, do you think that this is a change that Fortnite needs? Have you seen anything like this where a game this big has re-energized itself, midway through its life? And what do you think, if you game, what do you wish would have that resurgence in 2022? Let's start with Shaun on this one.
Yeah, so this is like one where I saw the news story. I'm not a big Fortnite guy. My kids absolutely love it, but I saw the news story and I decided to look into it because like that's interesting. They're going to take away a big part of it, but it seemed like to me that they kind of had like this naturally flowing story that kind of led up to this event, and the temporary. It's going to be temporary. Eventually, the building will be back, as far as I understood it. But for someone like me, yeah, it made me be like, well, maybe I should jump in and give this a shot, because the way I watch my son and his friends build, my old man brain can't even like wrap anything around. Like he's got like 47 stories high shooting down and like continued to build as he fights. That's really crazy. I can't do that. So if anything's going to get me into that, it'll definitely be that. I couldn't really think of a game that like changed that drastically, other than maybe the one that I forget what it was called, Arma, I believe, before DayZ kind of splintered off of that and became like an entirely different thing. But that was the closest example I could think of. And that was a thing where a bunch of people who maybe normally wouldn't have played Arma picked up DayZ and played it because it was a zombie game. I don't know if it's enough of a change to get me to install the 80 gigs or whatever I need to free up on my Xbox to do it. But I'll definitely check out when my son plays it, and I'll watch him and see what I think, and maybe it'll get me into it. I don't know.
It's been rumored for a while that they were going to split off and do a no building game mode because the player base has been leaving.
My son, I remember back, he bought like this $20 pack. It was like a Save the World thing that was supposed to be this whole separate like zombie defense game. And I don't even know if that like exists anymore or what happened to that. So
no more building simulator royale. I totally agree, Mike. So Shaun, that game actually came out as a single player. My buddy Mike pre-ordered it, and then it was a not single player game anymore. They totally derailed it and made it a BR. So that's a salty subject for us too, because that's something we actually pre-ordered to play. No more for us.
All the cool costumes, those are definitely cool.
Haley, are you a Fortnite player? Do you know, what do you think about this whole Fortnite thing? And just, tell us a little bit about what you think about this.
I'm not a Fortnite player, but I do think it's really cool that we live in this area, in this era where they can tweak a game when you already have it. Like Call of Duty, the skins change a lot, the maps change a lot, and being able to pay one price and seeing changes within the game, maybe tweaks that the fans wanted or things that people are even saying on Twitter, they can add those things into the game. And I think it makes it really immersive, even when something isn't so visually stunning.
Yep. Yeah, and Fortnite looks better than it ever has, but it's still a cartoony kind of game, so
right.
Totally agree with that. Bill, what are your thoughts here on Fortnite?
Actually, I think, again, what they're trying to do is keep the whole thing fresh and trying to throw new, changes to existing game modes, seeing what happens so they can try and build through the, get a storyline going. They will bring players back in and keep them engaged a little bit longer. I mean, what are games these days with the idea of trying to make, habitual engagement with a game? So you can sit there and go back in time and again. And plus, they also made the announcement that from the 20th of this month through the 3rd of next month, all the proceeds are going to support Ukraine and whatnot.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was something I was going to mention. If you spend money in Fortnite, they are going to donate a lot of that. I think maybe it was 100%.
It's all of it between the 20th and the 3rd.
To go to support Ukraine. So it's a great cause that they're putting out there for a very massive player base too. Travis, are you a gamer? Do you play games, and what do you think about this?
So I'm not too familiar with Fortnite, but I am a recent gamer, and one thing that I was going to bring up that I would like to see that I don't know if it will actually happen. So I never really got into World of Warcraft. However, I was a big fan of Warcraft 2, so more of just the platform-based one. I think it would be a smart marketing move for a game to kind of, obviously World of Warcraft has a huge fan base, but I think a way to kind of switch up their model would maybe to go reverse and change up the gaming style and go back to, Warcraft 1, Warcraft 2. I think there's a potential for a mobile app, things, I just, that's kind of what I perceive or kind of see happening with the gaming world, is I see a game like that has a 3D kind of universe, but maybe reverting back to what it was. And I would also love to see some side-scroller beat-em-ups like Streets of Rage come back.
The
Yeah,
new
Streets of
Battletoads,
Rage.
if you haven't played that, the new Battletoads is like one of the best newer side-scrolling beat-em-ups in a long time. It's absolutely hilarious, and you can beat it. It's not so hard that you're going to throw your controller.
And I
at the
believe
TV.
Streets of Rage 4 is a game
Yeah,
that is
it's
out
another
right
really good
now on
one.
Game
Mhm.
Pass too. So if you
Beat
have
it
not
in 3
played
or
that,
4
you should
hours.
take that for a test drive. It's a lot of fun.
And no quarters needed. You don't have to burn $20 in quarters.
Yeah, so like,
All
you know,
the
you bring
kids
that
are
up.
like,
It's
what?
a lot of mobile games now, right? It's all mobile gaming. So, you know, again,
And
if you guys
Blizzard.
are, if you guys, well, so Blizzard, you brought up Fortnite,
Yeah.
Travis. My thought on that was they could put anything right now that they have on PC, move it to Xbox, and they've got a full resurgence right there of any game that they want. So, and I would definitely be, you know, playing some Warcraft 2 on Xbox if that were to happen. That would be awesome. So,
Diablo's
all right,
coming to
so
mobile.
Diablo's coming to mobile. Diablo 4 will be out soon once Microsoft releases Bobby Kotick into space. So that'll be awesome. Looking forward to that. Okay, let's see. Let's count the score here. After one round, we have Travis with 7, Bill with 7, Haley with 6, and Shaun, you have 8. So Haley, you are first eliminated today. I apologize for this. Say goodbye to everybody. Hang around though, because I likely bring you
Bye,
back
Haley.
in. Thank you for coming. All right, let's move her out of here and let's get into round 2. Okay, so round 2, we're going to keep it with video games this here for a little bit. There is another Ghostbuster game coming out this fall, and you could play as a Ghostbusters or the Ghosts. We also have coming out here soon that Evil Dead game, right? That's going to be out in the next month or so. So, you know, we have a lot of fun movie games now that are coming out, but there's also a lot of movie franchises that have never been touched before. So I want to hear what you have as your best game pitch, any game that you'd like to play from a movie that you love, a movie you like to be a part of. And you can't answer Brendan Fraser's The Mummy because we all know that's the right answer. Go, Shaun. Was that going to be your answer? Go ahead, Shaun.
No, I'm kidding. No, so you know the game I've always wanted since I was a little kid, and they've tried a couple times unsuccessfully, in my opinion. I want a proper, cool Godzilla game where I'm Godzilla and I destroy cities and I mess shit up and I break tanks and I throw things. And that's all I want. I want it to be done right with really cool graphics. I want to have some battles with some other monsters because every game they've come out with, you're either like the human, which I don't want to be the human. I want to be the monster, okay? And I'll take a Pacific Rim. I'll take an unlicensed monster game,
Right.
anything where I can smash through at the Empire State Building and then like, you know, giant lizard versus giant monkey. I don't care. I just want to be able to do that and shoot radioactive fire and do cool stuff.
You'd be okay
So
with a
that's my
Rampage. You'd be okay with a Rampage
Oh,
World
dude,
Tour
I would
update.
adore a new Rampage. Like, how cool would that be? You could use
Yeah.
the same Lizzie and everything. I don't care if it's based on the movie. Like, just give me that game.
The physical copy of the 2016 Godzilla game, if you have that, is now like worth like $200 on eBay.
But it's not a great game, is the thing. It's okay, but it's not worth going out and spending that kind of money on.
Travis, what kind of game would you like to see made from any movie?
Yeah, so kind of going back to my previous answer, something along the lines of Streets of Rage, a side scroller, but the franchise I would like to tackle is Major Pain. I would love to see a Major Pain
That's
video
not what I
game.
was ever gonna think about. That's so good.
So, you know, I've even thought about the premise. It would be Karen Parsons' character and
Does your
Tiger,
name
who's the young boy, and Damon Wayans. It's his goal in the game. Terrorists have kidnapped Karen Parsons and Tiger, and he must get back into the school to save them. There's a level that I would even think of where, you know, they're underground and there's a seeing eye dog in Major Pain, and you play as the seeing eye dog in that level because it uses night vision. You know,
David Waynes just texted me. He's doing nothing and wants to do the voice for this game. So.
Well, I kind of had that in plan because I've seen him do a couple of local stand-up routines, but nothing major. So literally, and yeah, I think he could lend his voice to the video game and make some money off of it.
The sequel is a role-playing game where you got to get your band all the way through to the finals, and like you got to level up your bassist and like your drummers and all that stuff. And you got to get the one kid to learn that move where he throws his gun up so that you can like really impress the higher ups. So I'm down with that.
That was a good answer. I can't lie to you, Bill. I want you to follow that up. Good luck to you, sir.
Man, I don't know. I was thinking back, it's like, what kind of adventure really kind of like is set in? And it's like, let's base a game on older property. So let's go back and think about either Blues Brothers So think of something like Grand Theft Auto, except you've got to get the band back together. We were just talking music, so you got to get the band back together, get across the city, and avoid 10,000 cop cars along the way. That, or if you want to have a kind of like since zombies and antiviral and all that sort of thing is popular right now, we can continue with that, and you can do a version of Airplane where you're stuck on the plane, but you need to figure out whether they had the chicken or the beef, and then keep and land the plane with the assistance of the inflatable co-pilot.
And the guy with the drinking problem.
Exactly. Exactly. And don't call me Shirley.
I speak Ebonics, sir. Hold on one moment here.
These are all incredible answers. Fantastic. I would play every one of these games. I can't even believe that there's somebody out there that is at home thinking about a Major Payne side scroller. That is incredible. So thank you for all of that. I appreciate you. All right, let's get to the next question here in the round two. Hugh Grant is now rumored to be the next Doctor Who. And I don't know if you guys are into Doctor Who or not, but he's denied this, of course. But all these rumors that seem to pop up early about Doctor Who's tend to be true. And he's had recent work with Russell Davies, who's now the showrunner yet again on Doctor Who. And so it's the 60th season. This seems like it would be a good fit, right? So do you think this is what Doctor Who needs to bring it back to that forefront of pop culture? Or would you cast somebody else? Bill, let's start with you. I know you're a Who fan, at least a little bit, right?
Yeah, no, I am. And it's the one thing I think that would be the shock to the system is they've never really brought in people that were, when you see them, you know who they are first off. Yes, Jodie Whittaker was, had done a lot of things with her detective procedurals over in the UK, but, she and the others weren't really that known here. However, you throw in a Hugh Grant, and you suddenly see Hugh Grant as Doctor. And with what they're trying to deal with, they're doing the changeover of showrunner, they're dealing with a change of actor. And it's always hard because you end up, if things go sideways, they're going to blame the actor first. And then they're going to remember that, they just changed out the writing room and the showrunner and all the tone. At least Davies is coming back to the show. So hopefully he can kind of, bring it towards whatever vision he has next, whether it's back to his voice that he had before or something new. But as far as Hugh Grant, I mean, it would be a radical divergence for them to pick someone that's that visible and that known. It's not impossible, but I would be surprised, especially given they've been trying to do diversity throughout it now as well. And I don't see them going that way.
The article specifically references the Marvelization of what Doctor Who wants to be, right? They want to make it more popular basically than it is right now. So it does seem that even if it's not Hugh Grant, it might be somebody that's like a bigger actor. So Travis, do you watch Doctor Who, or do you think that Hugh Grant would be a good fit for that?
So I've never actually seen an episode of Doctor Who, but I do think Mr. Mickey Blue Eyes would be a great fit. And that's someone that could definitely catapult it back in. My kind of, I think the way to bring Doctor Who back into pop culture, and again, this is coming from a non-Doctor Who fan, is have an episode that's featured around Max Headroom. There's a very deep cut where an original episode of Doctor Who was intercepted by someone in a Max Headroom mask and proceeded to do all sorts of things before they cut back into the episode. So, a very deep cut, but something my weird brain would love to see. Otherwise, yeah, I think Hugh Grant is actually, would probably be the ideal choice.
Shaun, do you think Hugh Grant could do it as Doctor
Who? I'm going to steal this one from Mike. Who Grant? Anyway, so, I don't really care about Doctor Who. I'm such an all or nothing guy that I thought about watching it a couple times, and I'm like, I got to watch how many seasons? And I know I probably don't have to watch every season to get the gist of what's going on. But I was thinking about, who could get me to maybe come in, and somebody that I love as an actor. Give me an Idris Elba Doctor Who. I'm there. I'll watch some episodes and see how that goes. I think that'd be really cool. Something along those lines. I know that Doctor Who has this crazy hungry fan base because I made a whole bunch of those K9, the little robotic dog. I made a bunch of those toys for custom orders. So I know the designs well. I know the universe pretty well. I don't know the story super well. But it's so weird how that show has been around since the 60s, I think, maybe. 50 years of Doctor Who, and it's just still going strong, and here we are still talking about it. So it must
60th anniversary is this year.
That is crazy, man. That's older than Star Wars. That's wild, and it has so many cool elements that you can see that American science fiction kind of took and used in different ways to better effect, in my opinion.
You don't
But,
think
yeah.
of Hugh Grant as like someone that's fun necessarily, right? Especially after the most recent stuff he's been doing.
You know what I think about
then you-
Hugh Grant when I think about
Paddington,
him
man.
is-
Paddington, right? Is that what you're thinking about? Because he was.
I was thinking about that hooker thing that happened back in the 90s, but that too, Patrick. I don't.
Doctor Who can go back and erase that from happening. That's maybe why he wants to take the
There you
role.
go. He's
He'll
all,
be more
take
popular.
this pin. The sonic screwdriver will save your life.
It'll change your life, I swear.
You know,
All
it
right,
was still the great interview opening when Hugh Grant went on to David Letterman, and the first question is, this was after that scandal of the prostitute. The first question is, what were you thinking? And Hugh Grant just kind of goes, I got nothing. But the one other thing that kind of speaks against him possibly ending up being in Doctor Who is he's never really done television for any stretch of time. He
was in that Netflix show. The funny one.
But Netflix, you're still staying fairly limited, and then you're going to span 2 years, whatever, before the next one. And so he could be, but again, it's other things that just kind of more point to be harder, especially since when they're talking Marvelization of Doctor Who, they're talking about spin-offs and franchises and more shows, and they like they did with Torchwood. And if you're talking about someone not only doing one show but potentially doing cross jumps into different shows, I think he's a hard name to land. Possible.
Well, and he seems like more of a comedic guy, right? He's never really been known for like these serious type role. I mean, he has some, but I know him from like the all these 90s movies. I forget the name of it, but it was the Bride show in the 90s, the one that happened back then. But I don't really ever picture him as like.
Was it in?
I forget, man. I can't even remember. I watched it so many times in my parents' van driving around the U.S., like on this little 6-inch TV on VHS, but I can't remember the name. But no, he just always struck me as more as a comedic guy.
I think it's definitely something that could happen. I wouldn't be shocked if they're really trying to bring Doctor Who back to the forefront. But I do kind of tend to agree with Bill here because he seems like it's, this is going to be a 5 to 8 year run, at least with how the production works on Doctor Who. So I don't see Hugh Grant committing for that long for a role like that either. But if it happens,
he's old now too. He's in his 60s.
It would be great. I think it'd be good for Doctor Who, but I just don't see it happening. Okay, so after round 2, we have Travis, you have 13. Bill, you have 12. Shaun, you have 13. So Bill, you are eliminated. You had a great show today, but definitely hang out because I'm going to do something in round 3 here as we move into our next round. So thanks for being on, and let's get you off and into round 3. Okay, so per the usual, I'm going to bring everybody back in and change the rules here. Now, only Shaun or Travis are going to be winning today's episode, but I do want to talk about this with everybody because Project Nerd turned 10 this year, and that is crazy, to see it, to be a part of something like this, and it's been so fun just to be with Project Nerd, along this ride. And I haven't always been working with them, but just seeing them grow like this has been incredible to be a part of. So I wanted to talk to all of you about your 10th year of life and what that was like for you. Whatever you want to tell me about why your 10th year of life was the best, I'll tell you. For me, I was watching Twister, Happy Gilmore, and Mission Impossible 1, while over here playing Mario Kart 64, playing Super Mario 64, and Tomb Raider on the PlayStation. So let's see what you guys have for your best 10th year. Shaun, I'll let you start.
So my 10th year was 1994. And not much happened in 1994. we're fresh off of Jurassic Park in 93, so I was high on dinosaur life at that point. The things that were going on, though, were television. And you know what I was watching? I was watching my Power Rangers. I was buying the Megazords. I was building them. I was putting them together and making bigger Zords. I was watching my animated X-Men. I was watching Ninja Turtles. And I was having my mom go out and waste all of her disposable income on every single action figure, which she did because I was the youngest of 3. 11 years later, basically a single child, mom loved me. She bought me all the cool toys. I had the Technodrome. All the kids wanted to come over and hang out at my house and play my hand-down NES with all the games because my brother had gotten all those before me. And all my
Shaun, you were a cool kid.
Star Wars toys. Oh, man, I was the cool kid, all right? I grew up in Cowboyville, USA. I collected action figures and toys, man. And, that was it, man. Just kind of having a good old time with the action figures and the TV.
All right, Travis, let's have you go up next. How was your 10th year like?
All right, my 10th year is probably the most formulative year of my life. So 1998, I was enjoying things like WWF, WCW, ECW. You know, wrestling was in its prime, was a
That
hot
was
spot
my
at the time.
jam back then, man. That's good.
So, you know, whether it was New Jack, Sabu, Stone Cold, like, you know, that was really formulating me. And then on top of that, we have music, you know, Kid Rock's Devil Without a Cause that came out. Master P and the No Limit Soldiers were really huge in music. And then in terms of video games, I believe that was the year that I got my first N64. So playing Warzone, Mario Kart, I think those were the first two games that I had. And then on top of all that, I also had a super cool parent that would take me to see movies. And one of the ones that I remember from that year would be Halloween H2O. So yeah, 98 was a great year for me.
It's a good 10th year around the sun. All right, Haley, what do you think about your 10th year? What did you have going on?
My 10th year was 2007. So terrible year for movies, great year for video games. I had Super Mario Galaxy. I think The Witcher had come out, and then I had Silent Hill Origins, which I was a huge fan of the Silent Hill games. But I had the opportunity of seeing the magic of perfecting things that were already there. And that was a really cool experience of like watching the first 3D games or the first like big RPGs or open maps. Like it was really awesome seeing that whole thing just transpire.
I think Super Mario Galaxy is still the best Mario game to this day. To me,
Absolutely.
there's like, it's something about that was just absolutely magical. Bill,
Is that
what
the one
about
with the
you?
hat?
That's Odyssey.
Oh, that's
Galaxy.
Odyssey.
The one where they're running around the planets and stuff.
Yep. Okay.
I want to say, wasn't Galaxy the first 3D style game?
Sunshine, or no, it was the 64 one, the original, the Mario.
64 one, and then in Galaxy was the next one for that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
Well, what about the
That's right.
Sunshine one? Wasn't that in between?
That was a
I
kind
had
of a wasn't
Sunshine
it like
on
a paper?
GameCube. I can't
Bill, do you
remember.
know anything about
you
Mario?
actually-
Tell us about
Sorry. Your
No,
turn.
we'll hash this off offline. We'll figure out what Mario game. But Bill, what about your 10th year?
Well, so now that I'm feeling older than dirt, I was not playing Mario. Let's see. So we're talking when I was 10, a film called Friday the 13th came out. Also, Empire Strikes
Nice.
Back, and it was it was a good year in movies. I mean, what's ironic is also from what we referenced earlier, and I didn't remember the same year. Both Blues Brothers and Airplane, also 1980. Of course, not something a 10-year-old should be watching necessarily, but hey, there I was, because why not? As far as playing games at home, it was on the Intellivision. Didn't have an Atari, had an Intellivision at that time. And at the arcades, it was Pac-Man was the new thing in the arcades. It was that, and was it that, and like Crazy Climber, and a couple of the others were all the ones that were eating the quarters at the time.
Television was the first system I ever had, Bill. That, and I played on a Commodore 64. So,
buddy.
that was my early gaming years. Floppy disk. gaming,
Open door.
You have
Yeah.
been eaten
You-
by the brew.
All right. So we said between Travis and Shaun, Travis brought up, wrestling, which was a huge part of my life at that time. Shaun brought up Power Rangers and X-Men, which I was very bold about my X-Men love. I told nobody about the Power Rangers because everybody made fun of it at that time and where I was going to school. So I was like a definitely closet Power Rangers fan. And honestly, because of that and how proud you are about to be a Power Rangers fan, Shaun, you're going to be our winner today. Really great job, Shaun. Shaun has had a rough last couple shows getting out in the first round, so it's good to see you here in the winner's circle, my guy. Let's go ahead and get you a 30 seconds final round after the little. Go ahead, Shaun.
Am I on? Oh,
Yeah, you're on.
Hey, it's Shaun here. Shaun Hadley. I am a co-owner of High on Plastic Toys. We make really cool vinyl toys like this little guy. So it would mean a lot to us as a small business. It's just me and my buddy that I met on Facebook. We started this business and we started making toys, and we're doing conventions. We've done Kickstarter, and we have all sorts of cool stuff coming down the line. Check us out, highonplastictoys.com. Buy something. Let me know. If you buy something and you tell me you watch this show, I'll give you a custom paint job for free. So there's that.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, let's bring everybody back on. Thank you all for being here today. We really appreciate it. It's a great show. I definitely want to have each and every one of you back. This was a lot of fun. Again, wave goodbye. Have a great night, everybody in America. We appreciate you guys. See you next week or 2 weeks from now.